wanted to run the ball against that front, and they made plays. It was just very similar. Like, they just the clock ran out on them. It wasn't that they weren't playing bad. It was just the clock ran out. So it was a good game.
What's the challenge, Tony, with their shakeup there with the coordinator situation?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be more in-game adjustments. Same thing. You gotta have to feel what they're trying to do. Obviously, a great run game helps any kind of change like that, right? And so, same thing we saw last week. With the how they got the quarterback going, was the run game. So, expect that this week, and they're going to do what they do. So.
How did you think you guys performed stopping the run last week?
Not good enough. I mean, that's not, and that starts with me. Some of the stuff in there was okay, and it fit up well. But then they started doing some other things, and then I didn't adjust fast enough to it, so I didn't give the guys a chance to play. I think early on you see the runs, and then you see the fronts, and then we're stoning it, and then all of a sudden they make some tweaks, come out in different formations and personnels, and then I was playing catch up the whole time and didn't adjust well enough. So got to do better.
How do you feel that guys got into some of the positions in the secondary? Coach Brill mentioned yesterday there was some confusion on which coverage safety was in on a certain play here or there. Like what was your reaction to that? How did those conversations go after the game?
There's a standard, right? You gotta execute at a high level, and then you gotta play with some attitude. And we had opportunities where we just didn't execute. And that's the sad thing. In football, you want to put yourself in a position where if they make a play, they got to beat you, right? They got to go up like one-handed on the sideline, instant replay, tippy-toe. Hey, they beat me. All right, bro, you got me. Let's line up again and do it. But when you don't execute and you give them free plays, you're not going to beat nobody that way. And so, again, that starts with me and making sure that we do the processes right at practice, make sure that guys know where they're supposed to be. Don't take that stuff for granted. That's the lesson, right? You got a veteran secondary and stuff, and you kind of let them go out there and all that stuff, and then you got to reinforce the process all the time. The harp on them about the communication, make sure that they're looking at each other all the time, make sure they're communicating all the time. And give those guys a chance, because those guys can make those plays. So clearly it was something I did during the week that the message didn't get relayed.
So do you have a lot of veterans on your defense? What did some of those seniors like Gifford and Ty? What do they mean to you?
Oh man, they came. That when we came here, that's what we knew, right? And so obviously all football players remember the last time they get a chance to step in front of the home crowd. And it's important that the young guys understand that this is their last go in Memorial. So we made sure that we told them that one day they're going to be the old guys, and they hope that the guys after them play their butts off for them. And so we'll see. I know they're going to be excited to play.
What's it been like working with Coach Holgorsen the last couple of weeks?
I don't know. He quiet dude, man. He all ball. Like, he gets up, and I see that door closed on the offensive staff, and I see him go out and get coffee and get food, and he goes right back in there. So he's on point, with it. So it's cool. It's fun.
Coverage, Tony, what do you want to see just from your guys in those one-on-one balls? Like USC had a couple big ones on you where you appeared to be in position, but just weren't able to come down with them.
That's it. You want to get them in that position and believe and trust in your guys to go make the play, because that's what it is, right? When you play in this conference, and when you play the level of athletes, a la SC, Ohio State, you're going to be in position, right? The techniques, the training, the process during the week, that allows a good player to be in position. And now that's your time to shine. That's all you. And so it just wasn't a day where we had those one-on-ones go our way, And so, like today, we're just emphasizing it even more, things that we want to see. So when those guys are in that, like today, Malcolm was in a similar position, with a one-on-one ball, and I think it was Jamal caught the ball, and then we went to Indy, and I told him, I was like, hey, look, you're always right there. I want to see this. I want to be deliberate in practice today. I want to see you actively, slip it and go and punch the ball. I want to see you actively go down and try to rip the ball out as he goes, because you are always in position. But now, we have to finish the right way. And that was the emphasis of coaches. Like, we're right there. We got to go finish the damn thing. So,
What has Nash been giving you? Because Matt mentioned the other day he's maybe been playing banged up, and just how he's kind of fought through things.
yeah, he wouldn't say a word. I mean, he don't say a word. If you a couple of games ago, UCLA, I think it was, you see him come out and he's limping. You know what I mean? A nose guard, knee brace limping in there, and then last week he was playing his tail off in there. You know what I mean? That's Nebraska. That's Nash. You know what I mean? That's who he is, DNA at his core, on display. And I think he gives a little bit of backbone to the defense. You know what I mean? Like, that guy right there, he don't say nothing. He shows up every day. He does things the right way. There ain't no reason for you not to do the same damn thing. Period. So, I'm grateful for what he's done and what he means to us.
How do you balance what I'm sure is some level of frustration over the way that your defense has played in the last month, with knowing that, like, there's a lot on the table in the next 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not on it. It's on us, right? Like, there is a break in the process somewhere that allows those things to kind of slip in there. You know what I mean? So, like, for instance, signaling. Just something as, hey, whoever's signaling, we need to get them reps in practice. You know what I mean? We got to get those guys reps in practice versus either saying the calls to them or something as minute as that. You know what I mean? So it's always, when you don't have consistent success, you go back and say what was happening on Sunday, what was happening on Monday, what was happening on Tuesday, and then how to fix it, right? Because it's kind of like a dam. When one hole opens, you plug that one, but then there's another hole. So you got to consistently dive into the process, make sure everything from top down is correct and the way you want it. Otherwise, those things will creep up on you.
I know that your head coach challenged you to get more diverse in terms of the kinds of things you were calling and maybe some of the defenses you were doing. How do you feel like that's gone this season? Has that been a challenge for you and for the secondary?
No, I mean, this is whatever the head man wants, whatever the head man suggests. That's the way the program goes, right? That's how it goes. Period. You know what I mean? And so our job is to make sure that gets done, and in the way and the manner of which he wants it done, and we put it on the grass with the players and make it alive, and so that's anywhere, right? I mean, any organization that man has been through it, and he is the leader, and so when he says something, we make it work and we make it happen.
How have you seen Ty elevate his game from this point last year to now?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great one. When we first got here, he was, you didn't know, right? You got this big athlete, right? So you don't know. And then he's playing good last year early on. And then towards the end of last year, you saw, like, wow, this guy can be really good. Now we fast forward to this year. He starts off the year and he's playing really good. And then some point mid-season, like, it just clicked where, he's starting to play like one of the best defensive linemen in the country. I mean, I'm talking about pass and run. I mean, just his impact. He's affecting the game in all regards. And so, to see that, that's what Coach saw in him. That's what we saw in him. That's what T. Knight saw in him. That's what his teammates saw in him. And it's really cool because you see the growth. You see him believing. You see him knowing. You see him taking more leadership role. You see him coaching the guys on the sideline. So, that's fun to watch and fun to watch him, maximize his potential.
What are some of those other guys who are walking, not as well known maybe to the general public, but like Matt mentioned, like Grant Buda the other day?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of this era in college football shifts where you're going to the 105 roster and all that. And some guys are saying goodbye.
Doc, I mean, we joke with him. He's a doc, and he wouldn't say two words. And that guy. I mean, that guy busts his butt every day. I mean, he's all Nebraska. He is, every time you watch him and see him and interact with him, he's smiling and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's the backbone of programs, right? Those kind of guys, and those are the kind of guys that maybe the outside world doesn't miss, but when you're old and you talk about the things you miss about playing and being in the locker room, it's guys like Grant Buda. You know what I mean? You say, like, man, like, I remember just being in the locker room or just being in the players' lounge and seeing him there with all of his medical stuff, and I'm like, bro, I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it, and you miss those kind of guys. So it'll mean a lot to a lot of people. So we need to play our tails off.
All good.
Thank you. Sorry about that earlier.
Maybe since first time in here, if you just identify yourselves as you're asking Coach questions, that'd be great. So.
Hey, Dan, Sean Callahan with Husker Online. I'm curious, what was your familiarity growing up in Iowa with Nebraska football, and how much did you know about Nebraska before you came here?
Quite a bit. I grew up 30 minutes south of Iowa City, so grew up a fan of theirs, and just obviously being in this part of the country, I knew what Nebraska football was all about, and didn't have any ties to it, but I guess probably the closest thing I could say I did was we took a lot of trips to Colorado, and so we would drive right through here. But a great deal of respect for the program, the history, the tradition. And it's exciting to be a part of it.
Just Steve Sipple from Husker Online. Basic question: Why did you want to take this job at this time?
I was bored. Great deal of respect for Coach Rule. We visited in December. And I didn't think it was fair to him, me, or the program to do it at that point. I was tired. I'd been through a lot, and just didn't have to do it at that point, and I didn't feel like I was ready to give it my all. I was very grateful to Sonny Dykes and TCU for being a consultant there, which kept me around the game. I was there for I think 3 weeks in camp, and then went on vacation for about 2 weeks. Came back, and I was always there. I was there for 2 weeks, and I was there for 2 games, and I didn't like being a part of the games because I wasn't a part of the games. All right, I was up in the head coach's suite for a game, and I was on the sidelines for a game, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this part of it. If I don't have any control over it, I don't want to do it. So I would just help prep them in the beginning of the week, and then I'd go do something else. It was fun to kind of go do other things, but I was slated to go back to Fort Worth on Sunday night, and Coach Rule called, and I was like, yeah, he said, let's just come try to figure this out. I need your help. And so I was grateful to him for saying that I needed your help, and so I was like, I think a great deal of him. I think a great deal of this program. So I was excited to jump on it, rules allow it now. In years past, rules wouldn't have allowed it. So, I just wanted to insert myself and try to help Coach Rule and try to help this football team and try to help this great program.
Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Health. Welcome to Nebraska, Dana. Curious about, so you've been here about a week and a half, 2 weeks. What do you think of this group, of this offense? How do you feel like it can get fixed? Because Rule has used that word, fix. And how quickly do you think that can happen?
I had no idea what to expect on Saturday. I dove right in, and a week later, he made the announcement. I didn't know what was going to happen in the beginning. I didn't come here with the intention of being the offensive coordinator and the play caller. We didn't know what it was going to look like. He's just like, hurry up and get here, And so I got here and just started digging into it, and I think my job is to wake up and try to make it better every single day. I've literally worked 16-hour days every day for what's it been 13, 14 days now or whatever it is, so I'm still learning. I'm still learning the offense. I'm still learning different nuances. I'm still learning the players. I don't know all the players yet, and so I'm still trying to get to know those guys. And at the end of the day, it's about putting your head down and just trying to prepare. And so for the first 8 or 9 days, I focused on us and tried to learn an offense. I watched all the video to try to figure out what we do well and what we don't do well, and watch 3 or 4 practices to try to assess what we do well and what we don't do well. And then I turned attention to USC and had to figure that out defensively. And then Sunday I had to turn our attention to Wisconsin. So there's only so many hours in the day. We just got done with a practice out there, 2.5-hour practice, and I'm about to go get into a room and study the video for the next couple hours, and then turn the attention back to Wisconsin and start watching third down and medium and third down and long and red zone and score zone and goal line. Leave here late at night, wake up and do it all over again. So there's a lot of information, a lot of assessing, a lot of but at the end of the day, it's about trying to get these guys in position to be successful. Just whatever we can do to practice to make people better, to give them the information. To try to get these guys to be in position to be able to be successful this Saturday. I ain't thinking about anything else other than that. I ain't thinking about where we need to go offensively. I'm not thinking about, the University of Iowa the next week. I don't know what December is going to look like. I don't know what January is going to look like. I don't care. 100% of my focus is trying to get our offense better to where we can win against Wisconsin on Saturday.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. You said when you came, you didn't know if you would end up as the OC and play caller. How long did that process take you during the bye week, and what was that decision like, or conversations like from your perspective?
Yeah, Mitch, I got here and I got into a room and started watching video, and Coach sat in there with me for a couple hours, and a couple of the offensive coaches started coming in. They didn't know what was going on, and we didn't know either. We're just like, we just need to try to figure this out. And I think everybody was professional about it. I think we got really good coaches here. All the offensive coaches are coaching hard. Been very impressed with how they're coaching each one of their positions, including Coach Satterfield coaching the tight ends and giving me information on, what this term means, what that term means. And I don't remember the timeline as far as when we made that decision. I know, at first I was like, I don't know if I can learn it to call it. Who else can call it? I don't know if I should be. Then I decided, okay, I got it. This probably 3 or 4 days later, I go, okay, I got a handle on it. I think I can do it. He's like, do it. And then a week later, I'm like, geez, I don't know if I should be in the box to call it or on the sidelines to call it. And I think Friday we made the decision. I think, Susan, I told you on Friday that I'm going to go ahead and go downstairs. That's just where I'm comfortable. I haven't been up in the box since 2007, and so I made that decision to do that. And so I don't know the timeline. It was just every day was just something different, and learned more every day, got to know people more every day. The offensive staff continued to work together, and I think we're working together really good right now.
Hey, Dana, Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. What's been your early impression of Dylan, and how did you feel like the game day operation went with him?
I thought everything was really good. I started talking into the mic on Tuesday morning of game week. That's the first time I talked into that thing, and it makes play calling a lot easier. The iPads on the sidelines make play calling easier. And I'd talked to a couple of my just colleagues across the country, and they're all like, they called and they said, so you're going to call it? And I said, yeah. And they're like, well, the technology is going to help you. It's so I can just look at the paper and I can read from it and talk into it. I used to signal everything myself. And now we got a bunch of signalers. But I don't even pay attention to the signalers because I'm just talking to him the whole time, And he's a very, very, very bright young man. It's just, how is this kid a freshman? Because how can he process all this information as a freshman? he knows the plays, he knows the offense, he knows how to communicate it to the players. I thought the process was really good. We had 2 snap infractions, which, is 100% on the center. He will admit that. Okay. But other than that, there was nothing pre-snap. We weren't getting delay of games. We weren't scrambling to get people lined up. I mean, I thought it was very efficient. I thought our substitutions on the sidelines were really good. So that was encouraging, and I think it'll all get better. The play on the field needs to get better. The operation I thought was fine. So we're not sitting here trying to worry about the operation. We're trying to worry about the play on the field to get better, and that's what we're working on today, just what it looks like out there on the field.
Coach Jake Bartecki, NCN TV. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the run game and if you're seeing potential there to kind of open that up a little bit more.
I thought we ran block well on Saturday. They say it's the O-line's best game up front. I thought we played well up front. I can't gauge it on what happened in the first 9 games, but I was pleasantly surprised with our pad level, our toughness. Assignment wise being good. I thought we had a couple of runs that were good, tough runs that got good, tough yards, but I know Coach Rule mentioned it yesterday. There's a lot of yards left out there. When I can push the back and there's a hole like this, and the back's not in it, it's discouraging, and so just got to get those guys to open their eyes and trust the blocks and hit it. I thought at halftime I told the running back coach, I was like, they need to hit that thing better because there are some holes there. It is what it is. You get it up to the second level. We need to get some backs that can make some guys miss in open field. Some of those tackles that USC had are hard tackles, and they made them. So I was pleased with the scheme. I was pleased with what it looked like. We have to get more production. We do have to get more production.
Dana, did you know enough from watching film and watching practice to have some input on personnel in the game, like incorporate this player at receiver or this player at tight end more than what you had seen from Nebraska this season?
Yeah, I give my opinion. I give my opinion. Coach Rule has mentioned this, that fresh set of eyes on things are good, and I totally 100% believe that. Position coaches get blinded by what they see sometimes, based on a whole bunch of different things. And sometimes players, they come in and they get it's fresh set of eyes on it, and some opinions are different than others' opinions. That's what position coaches, they fall in love with specific people and they don't want to give other people chances. That's every position coach across the country falls into that trap. I did too as an assistant, and so I'm constantly looking at it, and I've voiced my opinion. I found one today. I'm not going to mention it until we go talk about it as a staff, but I found a young kid today that I think can help us play on Saturday. Just keep your eyes open for that. But, if at the end of the day, it's about competition. If there's competition, then people play better. If there's not competition, then people relax. And, I think our job as coaches, especially in this situation right now, is for, I'll say, look, this is what I see. If you don't like it, then do something about it in practice,
Dana Seamark with Inside Nebraska. What are your initial reactions of Nebraska's receiving core and the personnel with the pass catchers?
I thought they blocked well. That's the first thing I challenged them. I was like, guys, I said, you guys are fairly big kids. I know 17's not a big kid, but he's a tough kid. But there's some good sized kids out there. 16, 18, 4. These guys, 29. These guys are big bodies. I'm like, why are you not blocking worth the crap on the perimeter? It's embarrassing. You got being a receiver, you think, oh, they want touches, throw me the ball. first thing I said to him, if you don't start blocking out there, then you're not going to get the ball thrown to you. And this past week, it was our best perimeter blocking of the season. I was very happy with those guys, and they're proud of it, because they worked hard on it for 2 weeks. That's where it starts, and then just details of route running and ball skills. We got guys that can make plays. The problem that we probably ran into last week is not defeating man coverage. USC's very talented in their secondary. Wisconsin's very talented in their secondary. Both are going to play a lot of man. We didn't do a very good job of separation last week. We need to do a better job of that this week for us to be successful against Wisconsin.
Coach Kevin Sukes with Channel 10 here in Lincoln. Do you feel any pressure to help this team get a 6th win and get the program to a bowl game for the first time in 8 years?
Yeah, there is pressure in coaching. Anytime that you line up and you coach a game, there's pressure, so, I'm going to do, it's not going to change what I do. It's not going to change how I coach. It's not going to change the hours that we put in. It's not going to change my commitment to getting us ready to go practice tomorrow morning and, Thursday morning and what we try to accomplish on pressure is something that I'm obviously used to. I've been a head coach for 14 years and, coaching for 32 years. You line up because of the competitive spirit that you have in you. If you give in to pressure, then you need to go do something else. And I would have the opportunity to go do something else. And I'm sitting here trying to help Nebraska win. I know it's on everybody's mind. I know I get it. It's shocking to me that it's been that long since a program like this hasn't been to a bowl game. Doesn't make any sense to me, but it is where we're at. And we tried everything we could to win that game last week, and we had a chance still. And we're going to try everything that we can to win this game this week, and we'll have a chance still.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see everybody.
Couple more guys in here. Had a couple out there, so be a little fewer in here. Questions for Dylan?
Dylan, we talked about this after the game some, but how eager are you now to get into this second game week with Dana and just build off of what you did Saturday?
Yeah, I think we're excited. Sense of urgency coming in, Sunday. And an excitement to kind of, build off what we did in the second half and moving into this week. So we're looking forward to it, and we just got to go do it now.
You kind of continue to work with Dana Holgorsen. What stands out to you about his personality and what he's talking to you about playing the quarterback position?
Yeah, he's been around it for a while, so he knows exactly what he's looking for, and he knows exactly what the play is supposed to look like. And he kind of just helps to – design different plays, design certain people to get the ball. So, I think his experience is the biggest thing for myself and kind of everybody involved.
He's coached at the collegiate level. He's developed a lot of guys that went on to the NFL. Have you had a chance to pick his brain a little bit about some of the things that he saw in those players as they moved on?
Haven't yet because he's been kind of trying to learn the offense, and I think that'd be a conversation after the Iowa game. Headed into the bowl, so I definitely will. Though I'm eager to learn what he has to say.
Dylan, he's kind of blunt in here with what he's saying. Is it like that with you guys too, where it's not sugar coated? You just kind of get what he's thinking, and how does that, if that's the case, how does that go over? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, well, he's kind of point blank on the practice field, but no, yeah, he's very straightforward. Not a lot of gray area, which is needed, especially at the quarterback position. You like to know exactly where and who and why you're calling the play. So I think what you see from him now is kind of what we get on the practice field in some form or fashion.
You mentioned that you guys have struggled with man-to-man defenses. I mean, how do you attack man coverages better and figure out ways to get plays when teams man you up?
Yeah, I think just ball accuracy and getting our guys in space to go do what they do. Yeah, I think our guys run tremendous routes. They get open, and the ball placement is definitely some where they can catch and run away from guys. So that's a focus, and we'll keep working towards that.
What do you know about Wisconsin? Just studying them and what they do.
Yeah, they play really physical. They play really sound, and they play together. So normally when you have those three things, you get a good defense. And so we'll be expecting anything and everything. Last home game, so kind of our last chance for the young guys to go out there and play for these seniors and kind of show our love for them and their dedication they put into this program. So we're going to prepare our tails off and make it a special night for the seniors and for everyone involved.
Dylan, I know you're a younger guy in the program, but this senior class, I mean, it probably made it a little easier for you to transition into a big role on the team. What can you kind of say about that group?
Yeah, they're nothing short but a special group. I couldn't be more thankful for them. Kind of inviting me in and all of the young guys and kind of letting us do our thing and while they do theirs. So I think their leadership has been tremendous. They've done a really good job of kind of showing us the ropes and showing us what it looks like. So I think for the most part we're here where we are in the season because of the tremendous leadership they have and impact they have on the younger guys in the program.
Hey, back to Wisconsin. Not that you need to see another result to know what you know about them, but when you do see them hold Oregon to 6 points in the first half last week and 20 in the game, does that open your eyes? What do you think of that?
I mean, like I said earlier, they're a great defense. They play really well together. I think they play really hard, and I think going against the number one team in the country can kind of motivate anybody. I mean, even if we went against Oregon, it'd be the same way. So, I don't know. I just think we got to play and just go in with our game plan. I got to talk to Dylan from Oregon a couple of days ago, so picking his brain and kind of what they did to stop him and their offense. So it's been cool to study and we get another opportunity to go play on Saturday.
Thanks, Dylan.
Could have Deshaun Singleton after John too, so questions for John.
John, did you walk last year at senior day?
I did, yep.
So you go through it again?
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know if I was coming back, so just walked, and then I'll walk again this year. And then I think my brother's walking too, so it'll be cool to share that moment with him.
What will the emotions be like for you this time, knowing this will be it?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be a little teary, but just knowing the amount I've gave to this university and this state, just to this football team, just thinking back on all of it and how far I've come, it'll be definitely very emotional for me.
So is your brother still debating on coming back?
Yeah, he's still thinking about it as well, so we'll see what he ends up deciding.
What would it mean to get that 6th win and to break through, as Coach Rule said the other day?
Yeah, I mean it'll mean the world to this program. I think it'll take it off on the right trajectory going forward. Just knowing that we can win, and that's kind of how us seniors wanted to leave this place. So just I mean we'll give it the seniors will give our all to get that 6th win. That's our main goal right now, is just to win. So whatever we got to do to get that, I mean, that's what I plan on doing, just going out there and trying to get that win for us, no matter what I got to do to change the game. I just got to control me. I can't control anybody else, so I'm going to go out there and do my part and try to make as many plays as I can and try to make a game-changing play.
John, the 6th win is, of course, a hurdle, but so is Wisconsin. That predates your time here. Just the struggles Nebraska's had in this series.
Yeah.
What is does that make this mean more to you, knowing that's also a hurdle for the program?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We don't like them; they don't like us. That's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, this game and the next game always mean a lot more to this place than most other games do. But it doesn't matter who it's against. I mean, we're just trying to get that win. We're just trying to get a win. Just trying to win out. We're just trying to get on the right path for next year. And so I think definitely against a team like Wisconsin, it'll be huge for us.
What are maybe a couple of those inches that you didn't get against UCLA and USC that you feel like you can get in this game? Where can you guys get just a little bit better on defense?
I think we had a couple plays where a couple guys were playing different coverages. We were playing 2 different coverages, and that is never going to work out well. So that, and then we just got to win our one-on-ones. I mean, people just got to make plays at the end. Like, coaches can coach us all week and tell us, you got to do this, and they prepare us well for the game. It's just now we got to go make it happen. So I think that's just been the issue. We just haven't been making the plays to win the game, and that's something that I think we got to do for these last 2 games. It's just be playmakers, go out and make a play, change the game.
I know it's the other side of the ball, but when like Dana Holgorsen comes in a couple of weeks ago, does that add a little juice in the building?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I talk to the offensive side all the time. I mean, they like how he thinks. They like how he is trying to simplify the offense a little bit. But I mean, I'm not on that side of the ball, so I can't necessarily speak for it. But I think so. I think the offense had a lot more confidence kind of going into the game. But just like us, they got to execute. And that's what it comes down to, execute and making plays. And all the coaches put us in the right spots. It's just you got to win now.
John, what's maybe the other senior that you've gotten to know the best and resonates most with you?
Oh, jeez. Best. I mean, I can't really single out one person because I'm pretty close with all of them. I mean, obviously you got Isaac Gifford, who I'd put up there, Ty Robinson, just guys that, Javen Wright, just guys I've been here for my whole time here. They've been here with me this whole time, and we've gone through that struggle together. Just the way we think the same, kind of have that great chemistry with each other. I'd say those 2 for sure, though, just because I've been here with them for that those 6 years. So yeah.
All good? All right.
Thanks,
John.
How y'all doing today?
Sean, what's this mean to you to, the road you've traveled, going through junior college and getting to this point and now senior day? Did you allow yourself a little reflection time on it, or is it just all about Wisconsin?
Man, I'm always thinking about it, you know what I'm saying, coming from my journey, and not a lot of people can say they been through that type of stuff, but my focus is on Wisconsin right now, but every other time I get to think about it, I'm always thankful. You know what I'm saying? Thankful for where I'm at, thankful for everything that I'm going through and able to persevere through it. So, yeah.
What has this place meant to you since you've been here?
It's meant a lot. I mean, being here with my brothers every day, you know what I'm saying? Being here in academics with them, practicing, lifting, it just means a lot to me. And then, being here and now standing as a senior it's very, you know what I'm saying, heartful, and you know what I'm saying, it means a lot to me.
Sean, Coach Rule said yesterday he just didn't love the way the secondary played against USC. I mean, what's the response from your group over the last couple of days in response to that USC game?
Say it one more time.
Against USC, what was the response after that game? Coach Rule said he was disappointed a little bit with the way the secondary played.
I mean, response was, so we just came back in, watched the film, watched we did bad at, and just made some corrections. It was just really execution. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just execution. At the end of the day, we got people playing two different coverages, and it was just a lot of small stuff that we can't have. So,
How did that help us out? How could it be that a secondary could play two different coverages on a given play? Because somebody's got the dot, their signals, and all that.
it was just a communication issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can happen. Like, someone can run a go ball, come back, and don't get the signal, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like communication standpoint on the field. That's how.
Sean, were you hoping to come back another year, or even if you were able to get the year back, or were you planning on this being your final year in Nebraska?
I mean, obviously, with the other year, I just acted like I don't have another year left, so that's how I'm playing. So, you know what I'm saying? My goal is to get, you know what I'm saying, to the league, obviously. So it's like I don't really too much think about, I need another year, because at the end of the day, I mean, when it's your time, it's your time. So.
Hey, you had an opportunity to kind of work with two different coordinators, three different position coaches. That's just sort of how much you feel like you've grown up in that short amount of time learning how football can be different with different coaches.
I mean, it just prepared me for a lot of different things. I mean, being with different coaches, you get a lot of different techniques, habits from them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like going JUCO, I learned how to be a D1 football player. Going here, I learned how to practice hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just they taught me a lot of different stuff. You learn a lot of different techniques. You learn a lot of different terminologies, and you just know the overall game is the same. And so, it really helped me a lot.
Do you remember the call, when you got that call for the scholarship offer to Nebraska, what that moment was like for you?
I actually do remember the call. I was sitting in one of my JUCO dorms, and one of the coaches, they called me, and he came to a game. You know what I'm saying? I talked to him, and the next day I was sitting in my JUCO dorm. He called me again, and he told me off me, and I was like, "Oh, can I post it?" Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what went down then, and then after that, I just was like, took a visit, and I was locked in after that.
It sounded like you had a couple setbacks after that injury. Did you ever have doubts about getting back or not after the injury last year?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I had doubts, but it's like it never affected me. I probably had a doubt for a split second and just shook back after that. So it wasn't something I really dwelled on, really thought about, because I always knew, I'm gonna come back regardless. Whenever doubt creeps in your mind, you just gotta know to take it out your mind and just persevere through it.
What's the vision that you have, or the right scenario for you, finishing up against Wisconsin and Iowa, like, what would you like to see from this defense in the next 2 games?
A shutout. I like to see a shutout from the defense. Play the best we ever played. And so get that 6 win, get that 7 win. I really just want to see a shutout from my defense.
Give a sense of what it's been about Wisconsin that's given Nebraska such troubles for a long time.
I don't really know the history of it, but you know, I mean, how long it's been since we beat them? I don't know. 2012. Well, that's a long time. So, I mean, I don't feel like it's nothing crazy. I don't feel like we cursed or nothing like that. They be talking crazy, but I mean, we just gotta come out there and, you know what I'm saying, go out there and play. You know what I'm saying? Go out there to win. Not go out there, you know what I'm saying, just to compete. We compete to win. So.
Anything else?
Thanks, Deshaun.
All right. Thank you.